Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to Blood Bowl 2. The Dead Air Invitational Season 1 is kicking off this week, and I am joined by a selection of the coaches taking part. We've got a Mr. Dan, aka SomekindWizard. How's it going?
It's going well, thank you. I'm glad to be one of the few people who are online at the moment and therefore picked.
It's a very selective process. We also have, as you can tell by the laughter, Mr. Greg, aka Noximous.
Hello.
And finally, but not least, we have Mr. Ronith. I kind of mixed Mr. Ronith and Mr. RonithStyle.
Ronith Anderson.
One of his names. It's really weird because I call you guys your actual names, whereas Ronith, I call him Ronith, so my brain just, broke mid-sentence.
It's Ronith.
Mr. Ronith!
AKA Ronith.
First name Ronith.
Second
last
name Ronith.
Axel.
No, second name Ronith.
It's like
Last name
Ronith, and then quotation mark Ronith, and then Ronith again.
Alright, so we have the, like I said, it's the Dead Air Invitational, Season 1. Maybe we'll do more seasons, we'll see. This is Stage 1. We'll be doing a double round robin into an elimination bracket. So we have 6 teams, which we'll go through. We've got 2 Chaos teams, a Lizardman team, an Orc team, I almost said Fairy team, a Wood Elf team, and a, Bretonians, thank you. So, we're just going to go through the teams one by one, check out the lineups, maybe discuss some differences between them and stuff like that, talk about what they're potentially good at. Then we'll hop in and see what the week 1 schedule will be for the matchups, and we'll talk about, who we feel has advantages in that kind of area. And then we'll sign off and hopefully give you guys some absolutely glorious and violent content. I think that's a good plan, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
or some miserable failure, which is the same thing.
Yeah, it's the other side of the violent content. All right,
Even losing is glory, because I tell you right now, even if I lose a game, I may end up taking people out of the fucking tournament.
Yeah, I know.
Monetary.
We have quite a few players in this league who are of the playstyle of "I'm losing, may as well kill the enemy team."
Fucking murder him.
Yeah, of the playstyle Blood Bowl.
Yeah. All right. So first up, we have the Dragon Tamers, which is our first Chaos team, and is coached by Mr. Ronith.
Yeah, the
So-
Dragon Tamers.
How about you introduce your
The
team?
dragon is the motto of my team. Of course, because originally I thought but usually my teams have like a story behind them because it's funnier that way, because you get attached to the players, and I was.
And it's more devastating when they die.
I know, right? So I thought, hey, maybe I should get a Minotaur, and they think it's a dragon, and then they say, release the dragon, and it's not actually a dragon. But then I was like, hey, I like the Chaos Knights.
Yeah, I can see looking. I've got your team line up here, and obviously we'll go through and introduce them. But you've gone with what I would call the classic, which is the 4 Chaos Warriors, and then the rest Beastmen lineup.
It is
the best
basically
one.
the standard Chaos line, which is super solid and strong and not that expensive. So,
Yeah.
I mean, I was considering going with the Minotaur and 4 Chaos Warriors, but when you do that, you'd lose a couple of games because you're too poor for rerolls.
exactly. And the minute.
Well, I mean,
And
so
I can't afford to lose games in a double round robin.
Yeah.
yeah, it's also that Chaos are inherently a little bit weaker at the start as well because they don't start with skills. The only skills they get are horns on Beastmen, and that's it. The Chaos Warriors are strength 4, which is great, but they don't have any skills at all, which can lead to some really bad situations, especially if you don't have the rerolls to back it up. But I can see that looking at your staff, you've gone with the 3 rerolls and nothing else.
I went with the 3 rerolls simply because if you look at every single member of my team, they all have agility 3, and picking up the ball and trying to do anything touchdown related or dodging related or go for it related. I think that's
Could be sad times for you.
yeah. It's I'd rather go for some extra rerolls, especially when getting points in the round robin thing is dictated by getting touchdowns. So
Yeah,
I should probably get some rerolls to actually be able to do some plays.
Oh wait, shit! We have to actually score, not
You
just
do.
win.
Kill the enemy.
Well, you can.
Yeah, it's this. It's for those who don't know, it's the standard sort of typical sport round robin thing. So for a win you get 3 points, for a draw you both get 1 point, and for a loss you get 0 points.
Okay,
So
that's fine. I only ever need to score once then. That's okay.
Yeah, and everyone else must die.
That's
Alright,
all
so-
I need.
how about we jump in and name, because we can talk about Chaos more when we've introduced Dan's team as well, because you're both Chaos, and the points will be very similar, so how about we just run through your actual lineup?
We should also pick our favourite name out of each team.
Sure, yeah.
When they've been
Sure.
named.
Are we gonna go through each name?
Yeah, just do a full sweep of your team, just go for it.
All right. So we got our first 4 Chaos Warriors, the pinnacle of the team. Dr. Lord, the captain of the team, obviously with a very fancy.
He's a doctor.
He has a PhD.
He's got a PhD in being a lord.
It is a it derives from my what am I saying? We Josh and I was like doing some random names on like random generators, and I got Dr. Pirate up, and I was like, that is amazing.
That's
So
a good name.
Dr. Lord, that's pretty good. So yeah, he's my captain. Then we have the 3 other Chaos Warriors: Neon Jack, Quantum Bob, and Syntax Terror.
That's another one from the random name generator.
Yeah,
I know that.
I love that one so much. So
That's a random name generator for a Shadowrun hacker, Syntax Terror.
Yeah.
That's solid. I like it.
So I don't know. I love giving names that like the players themselves probably think is fucking awesome.
Yeah.
So
I like the fact that it's the guy with no helmet, eye holes as well. That makes it even better in mine.
I see the boy.
he doesn't need to see.
Yeah. Shall we
Anyways.
razz through these a bit quicker because we've got a bunch of teams to go through.
We got Radical Robin, the Beastmans, PJ Switch, Agent Primetime, McDonnelly the Fifth. There's 5 of them. Saint Jack the Grim. We got Lucy Butterfingers and Eagle Eye the Blind.
I do kind of like Eagle Eye the Blind. I think
My favourite is Agent Primetime.
I'll be honest, what I like most about Eagle Eye the Blind is that Saint Jack the Grim has no eyes.
Yes.
And yet Eagle Eye the Blind
Has eyes.
has eyes.
Yeah.
it's false
Who knows?
advertising.
Maybe he just thinks he's blind. Who knows?
Alright, so that is the Chaos team, the first of 2. Next up, we have Tilted Scales, which is our Lizardman team, coached by Mr. Noximous.
Yay.
They are so twitchy.
Yeah, I know.
The little guys are pretty twitchy.
They're very caffeinated.
They're high all the time.
So you've gone with a Croxagore, 4 Skinks, and then the rest Sauruses.
Yeah.
So that's 6 Sauruses.
God,
Yeah.
that's heavy.
Or-
How many staff are you able to afford?
Well, I've got 2 rerolls,
Fuck.
and
2
some
cheerleaders.
cheerleaders.
Which fucking
Gotta
cheerleaders.
gotta win that one specific kick.
All right, I'm just going to throw this out there for people who are insane and are going to learn to play Blood Bowl watching us. Why would you ever do that? But if you are, don't do anything Greg does. There we go.
I will look. It's fine. I bought rerolls. I'm good at the game. That's what matters. Okay.
All right, let's talk us through your lineup. And right now, there we go. One of your skinks had a bug and his head wasn't there.
No, that sounds accurate. So
Oh yeah, they freeze in part of their animation, and if they freeze in the animation where they're crouched, their head is gone.
we've got the terrifically original name, Little Sprinkles. We've got Crazy Eyes, because look at those fucking eyes, Jesus.
To be fair, all of them have crazy
They
eyes.
do have insane eyes. You got Big Doug, who's really big. Lazy Larry, he's got a lazy eye. Look at him.
Oh no.
Private Ryan, he's been through the wars. Look.
Yeah,
Yep.
I like that one.
Bird Muncher because he has feathers on his chin. Licky Licky Lucky Larry because he's got a red bit around his face, and I'll let you think about that.
Whoever's commentating
For
is
him?
gonna get a nightmare title.
You should have called him the Crimson Tide.
No, I like Licky Licky Lucky Larry. That's a good name.
On him.
Spiky Stewie because he's got about 8 times as many spikes as everyone else. Jesus.
He
I think
doesn't
you
actually
make
look
yours
it.
based on appearance.
Yeah, basically. Fancy Frank because he's got feathers on his head. Look at that. It's glorious. Caged Carl.
Because he's got a muzzle.
Yeah, and Chinless Chuck, who's got a thing covering his chin because he's missing it.
It's a prosthetic. It's a prosthetic chin.
Prosthetic chin.
Alright,
Exactly.
so I'll be honest, I don't actually know a lot about Lizardman lineups, but it seems like yours is
I
pretty
would say
typical.
this-
So standard.
I would
Yeah.
say this is like the most standard one because the maximum Saurus he had is 6.
Yeah.
So,
It basically was like
amazing.
by Ulvasaurus.
Yeah, basically you.
They are
I guess.
strength 4. It is so fucked up.
Yeah, I know. I guess the only sort of choice you could really make here is because the only difference would be I guess you could replace the Croxagore with more skinks for potential. For like if you replace the Croxagore, you could get another skink and more rerolls. I guess.
Yeah, another reroll.
Like that's
Or
the only.
backup skinks because they are.
Yeah. I was gonna say all backup skinks.
Yeah. They are what I
Croxagores.
like to call Plan A.
Well, they're actually not that bad because they're stunty, so they're less likely to die.
Yeah.
Like they get
Yeah.
KO'd more instead of like badly hurt and stuff, which is pretty sweet.
Definitely, but like
Plus they dodge. Which...
the Croxagore is such an excellent big guy anyway. So
Yeah, Croxagore, in my opinion, is the best big guy in the game.
he's one of the best at least.
You just stick in there, fucking prehensile tail, just whip.
Prehensile tail is probably the most important thing.
It's really good.
Or
Yeah.
tentacles.
Not to
Yeah.
mention just the fact that he has mighty blow and will just kill everyone.
Yep.
And fixed
wait.
skull, so he's unlikely to die. Sadly, however, he has loner, which a lot of them don't, which makes
Yeah,
all
Loner
the
is
big
awful
guys,
and-
all the big guys have loner.
Big guy.
Do they?
All the big guys have loner,
No,
and
not
they
all of the big guys have Loner. I'm pretty
yeah
sure
they do.
there's some that don't.
And,
And
like
then some variation of Bonehead. Or
yeah, I was gonna
Wildbat.
say they all have
Yeah, they all
loner.
have that.
They all have loner, and then they all have some kind of big guy drawback, which is usually bonehead, wild animal, or some variation of. Which I'll talk about when we get to my team, because I have a mini rant about that. But yeah, that is our Lizardman team. Next up, we have Alcoholic Gameplan, which is Mr. Titanscreed's team. He's playing Orcs. He couldn't be with us. He was planning to, but he is extremely tired from work and went and passed out. So instead, we get to shit talk his team behind his back. So.
Yeah.
Incidentally, he has some incredible names. Like I
He
love
has
his names.
Incredible names.
They are
I-
really good.
Yeah.
They are
I do
amazing.
like his lineup as well because I play orcs in an actual like multiplayer league, so it's interesting to see that he's gone with 4 black orcs.
Yeah, he's got the maximum Black Orcs of 4, then he's got the maximum Blitzers of 4, and then he's got double linemen and goblins, so no throwers and catches. Actually, can orcs get catches, or do they just get throwers?
Yeah,
Orcs can get
they get
throwers,
throwers, and that's it.
blitzers, linemen, goblin,
'Cause
black
he-
orc,
he-
and trolls.
Yeah. So yeah, he hasn't gone for the big guy troll, which is kind of typical, really. Like, you don't tend to see trolls in orc teams, you tend to see them in goblin teams.
Even so, I don't know. They can eat goblins as well randomly.
Yeah, they just randomly go,
Well, only if you try and
Yeah,
only if you try and throw him.
God,
That's true.
can we just go through these names? 'Cause
Yeah, they're
the
incredible.
Best.
They are so good.
Alright, Earthworm Jin.
The Goblin.
The Evil with Jin. Deus Ex on the Beach. The Blinding of Isaac. Resident Evil, G&T Virus. Alien Inebriation. Gin and Tonic the Hedgehog.
That's my favorite.
Guess
I've already
the guy
read. I've already read through these, and that's my favorite.
Yeah, I like Madden Hatton.
Manhattan's
Just
pretty
because it
good.
sounds nice to say out loud.
I know Gin and
We've got
Tonic the Hedgehog
Mario
works so well.
Tini, Spiked Punch Out, and Jaeger Monster Hunter. Which
It's
is
pretty
also
good.
sweet. I like Jaeger Monster Hunter and Madden Hatton the most.
Yeah, so I think that's a pretty solid team. I like the. It's interesting.
Very bashy team.
It is the main thing he's
So
gone
bad,
for
yeah.
is he's
3 rerolls.
yeah he's got I didn't check that actually. Yeah, he's got 3 rerolls and nothing else, which is fine. He spent all his money, and I actually kind of like the fact he's got the Goblin because it gives him a little bit more of ability to play the ball, just a little bit.
Just
Indeed.
get that one guy, pick up the ball, hope for the best.
Yeah,
It's like
Steve.
goblins don't really have better agility than the other like blitzers.
no, they
and
move
linemen,
faster though.
but they move faster. Like
And they have
that's the only
stunting.
difference, really. Yeah, they're definitely better at holding the ball, but picking up the ball is not better.
No,
It's
that's
kind of
true.
interesting.
What do they have? Let's check the skills.
Stunty,
Dodge, and right. So they do actually have dodge.
Oh, they've got right stuff.
Yeah.
That's right stuff.
Right stuff
Red
lets them
stuff
be able to
means that
throw.
they are good for throwing, and they have wings.
That's another thing that's going to be, I'm going to have a mini run about. When we get to my team. Next up is...
Wait, we should skip yours. We'll move on to his. Then mine. We'll leave it off on you.
Yeah. So next up is Uniform764's team, which is a Bretonian team. Sir Robin's Braves beat a very brave retreat. Again, he couldn't be with us for the shit
He's
talking.
dead. He couldn't be with us. He's passed away.
I'm pretty sure all of Madden's names are just the random ones.
We've got Fulcu de Bastogne, Fulcu de Scarface, Exudes d'Artois, Gauthier de Montfort, Eudes the Elder, Tybalt, the Lioness, and then we've got Handsome Tim, Fat Twitch, Dull Tim, Dull Jules, and Fat Mark.
What I think is kind of interesting is, I just want to check how much rerolls he's got. So he's got 3 rerolls and, okay, yeah, I was going to say, because basically, you can get 4 blockers and 4 blitzers, and he's gone for 3 of each. He hasn't maxed them out, but he's got an apothecary and 3 rerolls, which is a really interesting choice. Because Bretonnians are a really interesting team because Bretonnians are an entirely new team. They did not exist in Blood Bowl before Blood Bowl 2. They weren't in the board game. They weren't in Blood Bowl 1. They've been put into Blood Bowl 2. So they're the most kind of wildcardy team because they don't have years and years of like people's experience playing them. Yeah. So people are still kind of working out to play them. But I actually think that's really interesting that he's gone with rather than the 4, he's got the 3 blitzers, because the blitzers are like the full meat of your Bretonnian team.
They're also, like, they're very, very uncommon, because the blitzers aren't just blitzers, they are your ball carriers. Like, they're your wall, and they're your dudes. They run the show.
They're basically like the star players, like, the rest are just expendable
Chat.
I mean, look at that, they have 7 movement, 3 strength, 3 agility, 8 armor, and then they come with block, catch, and dauntless. So it's just a really solid player.
Really, like, insanely good players.
Yeah, and also their blockers aren't blockers. They are wrestlers.
Yeah, they have wrestle, which makes it interesting.
And their linemen as well. Like their linemen, like the peasants in this, they are cheap and they are crap, and they are made to go down essentially just for the sake of the blitzers. But they've all of them have got fend, so you can't just
really
stomp all over them.
Yeah, fend makes it really like. Especially if someone's not paying attention, fend makes, like, actually breaking a Bretonnian's line really difficult, because you can knock the players over, but you're not going to gain ground from it.
Yeah.
Which is, yeah. So I think Man's actually got a really interesting team here, with the 3 rerolls and the Apothecary is just really solid.
It's pretty good.
It's just because if you're all in on your guys, you could have 4 of those guys you're all in on, or 3 of those guys you're all in on, and make them less likely to get fucking
It's true. The only sort of like disadvantage he's got going into it is because he hasn't voted for 4 of them, and because they are so expensive, he's not going to be able to actually pick up a 4th or replace one for a while. Like we're talking like maybe and the entire round robin before he gets.
If he loses one of those blitzers, that's gonna be it.
No, if he loses one of his... the blitzers. If he loses a blocker, he can manage, because he can just get 2 linemen for the replacement for wall. Yeah,
blockers aren't too bad, because they're just kind of...
Yeah.
Like, everything the Bretonnian team exists to make the blitzers look good.
Yeah, exactly.
Alright, let's move on. We'll skip my team, and we'll go straight into Dan's team, so we can compare the 2 chaos. So it's balls well travelled.
Yep, okay, so Balls Well Travel is a team that's on tour. They are just lads on tour.
Lads on tour.
They are lads on tour.
Lads.
The exact same lineup as Ronith. 4 Chaos Warriors and the Beastmen.
I should add that I run a Chaos team in the Stripdoor League that started with a Minotaur, and I had to suffer a lot of losses before the team got good, because I had no fallback. I got very lucky that none of my dudes died permanently. My first death didn't happen until I'd first been able to afford an Apothecary.
You got immediately with the Apothecary and 2 rerolls, which is counter, as we said earlier, to Ronith's 3 rerolls. That's the main difference between you guys' lineups.
Because I know that there are other bashy teams, and if I lose a Chaos Warrior, I'm...
You say you know there are other bashy teams. This league, except for me, is entirely bashy teams.
Yeah, so I was like... Well, at the time I knew that they were going to be. I didn't know if we were all going to be, but now I do, of course. But at the time of making them, I was like, well, I'm pretty sure I'm going to get my shit kicked in a bunch, so I'm going to have to get because, I'm basically all in on the Chaos Warriors. I'm not affording a Minotaur until, like, the end final match if I really, really, really need one, which I probably won't.
Yeah, I don't think for the most part that big guys are that great. Like,
they're dependent on, like, the Croxigar.
I love
really
my
good.
one in my other team. But he's fantastic.
I think the Minotaur is actually
because the Minotaur is overall one of the better ones. He uses he has Wild Animal instead of Idiot, which I prefer because you keep your tackle zones even if you're not ready to go.
Bonehead, not Idiot.
Idiot, Bonehead, they're the same. You know what I mean when I say it. Yeah.
But I was using the actual technical term, just so people.
And they also have the Horns bonus for blitzing. So if your guy gets knocked down, if you blitz from the ground and you have Frenzy, even if you don't get a down in your first attack and you get pushed further into their group, usually Frenzy's a bad thing, But if you were blitzing when you did it, you have strength bonuses, so you can usually still muscle through.
Yeah.
So overall, they feel like also the safer of the bigs. And since, since they're easy to mutate, you can get them tentacles first level, and now you've also got trip. It's
That's
sick.
probably the most important thing with any chaos team, but specifically like the Minotaurs, that you can indeed get mutations on them.
Yeah,
and you can get prehensile tail and other stuff.
Yeah, the biggest thing I have about the Minotaur and a Chaos team is a lot of the time it's like the Chaos team. The Minotaur is definitely one of the better bigger guys for sure. Yeah. It's just in a Chaos team, it's not often needed. That's the main issue.
He's a long-term buy if you're going to buy a Minotaur, a very long-term buy. So for this, where I know there's a limited number of games before the league ends, not going to happen.
Yeah, Beastmen are just
who knows, season 2.
Solid.
Yeah, but would we bring back the same teams for season 2?
It might be interesting. Who knows?
just the limpiest team ever. Like everyone's just limping up to the start line.
All right, so give us a rundown of your actual players.
Okay, so these guys are all lads, and they are named by what they're best at. So we have Captain Best Party Man. He is the best at parties.
Okay. He's the one throwing the party.
Yep. We have the drunkest ever. We have junk STTs in the trunk. We have this is my favorite song. We also have Dude Bro the Undermining. We have Randy Customer, Projectile Vom Voms, Can Actually Drive, The Steak Daddy, Just the Worst One, and woo!
I think my favorite can actually drive.
Yeah. I wish you could. I feel like he should be called Designated Driver, but Can Actually Drive is pretty good.
You know, he can actually drive, but he's never the designated driver.
I just love it because it just brings the team together that this guy is the guy who's just like, oh my god, I need to get all these people home.
Yeah. Yeah, and it's like, when you then start thinking of all their names, suddenly you're like, oh, these are just really awful people to have in a fucking party bus with you. Like, this is my favorite songs, and Projectile Vom Voms. You don't want those guys.
No, you don't. That's a pretty round team. I think it'll be pretty interesting. So last of all, we have my team, Folklore and Fairies, which is a Wood Elf team.
Good luck.
Yeah, it's going to be real interesting. But I decided to mix it up and try and... I wanted to... I was thinking going bashy, but I picked my team last. So I saw everyone else's team. Not what they put in the rosters, but I saw what everyone else was playing. And I was like, I want to mix it up.
You should have been like, Skaven! I don't like having players.
It was going to be between Skaven and Wood Elves, and I went with Wood Elves.
To be fair, look at every single member in your team. You all have armor value 7. It's not great.
It's not great.
It's no 9 on the sword.
Also, none of them have skills, apart from the War Dancers. Lineup-wise... So actually,
wow, your linemen are shit.
But,
yeah, they
dude,
really are.
Look at the War Dancers; they're really good.
Yeah, but so I went with two rerolls because, I'll put it this way: Wood Elves have really interesting pricing options to the point where one of the sort of lineups that you not recommend it, but there's a few different lineups for Wood Elves that are if you want to do this, do this. One of the lineups for them is actually a no reroll lineup. They legitimately have a strat to do that because they're so fucking expensive.
That's true. Elves are really expensive, but they're really good as well.
Yeah, so we have Illa Don't Punk and Jack the Giant Killer. Those are the 2 War Dancers. We have Guy Trash, Durga, Little St. Hugh, Fulk Fitzwarren, Morgan the Flay, Guy of Warwick, Bran the Blessed, Spring-Heeled Jack, and Old King Cole are all linesmen. And
Dude, I sing the English madrigals in this show, so I'm so tired of hearing that. Old King Cole was a merry old soul, and a merry old soul was he.
No, this is all fucking... I went digging for actual proper English folklore.
It's true, yeah, no, that is... it's part of the English madrigals.
I've been trying to figure out who it is. Illidan Punk, I have no idea who that is.
It's just Illidan, but punked up.
No, Punk is also because he's punked up, but also a lot of things in English folklore, place names end in punk.
Yep.
So
okay, sure. Jack the Giant Killer, that's obvious.
Guy Trash and Durga are actually creatures rather than people.
I know what Durga are.
I don't remember what Guy Trash is, but it's a creature.
Durga are under dwarves, and Guy Trash are... I can't remember, actually. I'm going to look that up. Fuck it. Doing it live!
Doing it live! So, yeah. One thing I want to write... So, one of the things you decide on a Wood Elf team is whether you take a Tree Man.
Yeah.
And
Oh, okay.
the way that's determined is whether you want to win or not. And if you want to win, you don't take a tree man. Because tree men are fucking terrible.
We took a look at the treeman, and the stats are like the extremes of both sides.
They're
But
not even that
his
good, though.
abilities.
Like, he has a movement value of 2, which is fucking garbage.
Yeah, it's literally
He has
the
an agility.
extremes.
He has an agility of 1. He has
But
a
there's
strength of 7.
That's pretty obscene.
That's obscene.
Yeah, but then strength of 7, and then I don't remember what his armor value is. It's like 8 or
It's
something.
maxed.
the main kicker is
It's
that
maxed.
single ability, though.
Yeah, the main kicker is he literally has the worst big guy like disadvantage, which is take root. What happens at take root is if every single time he has to make an action, you have to roll a dice, and on a 4 plus it happens as normal. On a 3 or less, actually maybe a 2 plus, I don't remember. But either way, if you fuck it up, he takes root and gains a movement value of 0 for until the drive ends, and literally can't move.
Wow.
It's awful. It's so bad.
I cannot understand that.
That can happen while you're on your like. If you get knocked over, it gets cancelled. But then it's just like your opponent's just like, yeah, I'm just not gonna hit your tree man.
Yeah, just not gonna get close to that
Here,
thing.
walk around.
Like, it's such a bad. And also, like, they
And
have
especially
ability.
at your elves. So if you're up against a bashy team and they push your lineman away from your tree man, and your tree man takes root, then you've got an entire bashy team to pulverize the shit out of your apothecaryless, reroll-less
Yeah,
lineman.
You
Yeah,
don't
pl-
have that big guy to keep them busy anymore.
Yeah,
Yeah.
the other thing is that the tree man and the war dancers cost the exact same. So it's either you take a tree man and a war dancer, or you take 2 war dancers, or you take 1 war dancer and like a mix of other stuff. It's like double war dancer. The war dancers are the best things you have as a wood elf team. Why would you not
Definitely.
take both of them when you can? So yeah, that is the first. That is my wood elf team, and I.
Yeah. Oh, so a guy trash is the legendary black dog.
Oh, that was yeah.
Haunts lonely roads, awaiting travelers. It's also the thing that they based the Hound of the Baskervilles off of.
Yep. So that is.
Okay.
That's our team lineups. I think I showed it off, but yeah, I have 2 rerolls and no apothecary, but I do have 30,000 left over, so basically, win or lose, I'm pretty much guaranteed an apothecary after the first game, because I only need 20,000 to get it.
Just good
There
time.
we go, that's all of us.
Yeah, let's take a look at the first week's schedule, let's look at the matches. So, in the first week, we have Tilted Scales, which is the Lizardman, versus Balls Well Traveled, which is
Did we
Chaos.
see this? Sorry?
Schedule.
If you go out of league and then select competition, you'll have the list.
Oh, okay. Oh,
You can
schedule. There it
You can
is.
see the
Alright.
schedule for the entire thing if you want to, but we're only going to look at the first week. So,
Ah.
Lizardman versus Chaos, so that's Greg and Dan fighting off. My prediction for this game is it's going to be an absolute fucking slaughter. Just
It's going to be a bloodbath.
yeah,
It is.
it
Yeah.
is.
It's like when I realized my first match was against Greg, I was like, I really maybe should have risked the Minotaur.
I'm happy because I was like, I just don't want to play Lizardman week 1. I don't want that to happen, and
Yeah.
I've looked out and I don't have the Lizardman. Because it's not just that it's Lizardman versus Chaos, it's the fact that it's Lizardman controlled by Greg against Chaos controlled by Dan. Like,
It's just. It's
But like
just gonna be.
we're the kings of shit rolling. We both know what we're doing, and we're both just going to try and kick each other's teeth in. I'm
Like-
excited about what this is, but I'm almost certain that the result of this match is going to be one of us leaving the tournament because we get booted by losing.
I hope not.
Every-
Right,
The score
possible.
is like, I reckon, at best gonna be.
I was gonna say
like,
for Scott, we should we should do a quick prediction. Like once we talk over the matchup, now we should do a real quick, like not super accurate, but be like, what do you reckon this match will end up being in each of us? So, what do you think it'll be, Greg? Like, what are you thinking?
I'm gonna be optimistic and say it's gonna be like 2-1 to me on account of.
You think I'm going to score? That's adorable.
Dan, what do you?
That's when I said optimistic, I meant for you, obviously.
Yeah.
I reckon I might get like 4 on account of I have skinks, but you know,
Yeah.
reasonable, modest on my side, and optimistic for you. You're welcome.
How are you
Yeah.
feeling, Dan?
I'm feeling that he's been the wrong kinds of optimistic. What I think is it's going to be a 1-0 win for him because by the time the second drive is ongoing, I will have killed all of his skinks.
Ah, that's reasonable.
You say that, but they're really fast.
They are. If I knock you out in between drives and then just spend the rest of the match running in circles, just taking on a couple dudes at a time because your movement allowance is like 1 or some shit, I think I'll be okay.
Honestly, not that bad.
Maybe it'll be 2-0 because you'll get them back in the second half.
The amazing thing,
Otherwise,
thing about Chaos is that the Beastman can blitz very well.
Yes.
We only get
So-
Which is why I'm pretty sure I'll be able to murder a skink or two.
Alright,
Because
Ronith.
I'll just be able to push into that line.
Ronith, prediction for this match.
I am scared, and you know why? Because Black Orcs. And
No, I mean,
Lancers.
no. Prediction for Dan and Greg's match. What do you reckon?
Oh, okay. I would probably say that Greg has the higher chance of scoring,
Yeah.
simply because of skinks, but it's going to depend solely if Dan can, make like a blockade enough, or like blitz, or like if he manages to blitz the skinks.
And move it away from him.
And if not that, then he has to hope for a miracle.
Yeah.
I think.
I'm gonna round it off by saying I think Greg will take it 2-0 based on what we've said. I'm thinking it's a 2-0 for Greg.
I would say it's a 2-0, yeah.
I'll be honest. I think a big part of it is who gets the first attack.
It's good. Yeah, actually no. Yeah, you're right. The thing is, if Greg gets a blitz on any point where he's kicking off, that'll be almost guaranteed a touchdown for him, which is pure RNG. But yeah, that's RNG. I'm saying 2-0. So let's move on to the second match of the week, which will be Alcoholic Gameplanning, which is Titanscreed's Orcs versus Dragon Tamers, which is Ronith's Chaos.
Which is Chaos. Two also very bashed teams.
Yeah, I'd say Orcs have especially since he's got a Goblin, he has a slight more edge in ball playing. Not a lot, but he has a slight edge in it.
Yeah, like that slight thing might be the difference because he has dodge and stunty. That's the main thing. But if you really think about it, everyone has the same agility except for Black Orcs because they have less. Like, I think I have the better chance of scoring, if I can control the Goblet. That's it.
I guess the main problem you're going to have, though, is... So the main advantage of Chaos, that we talked about it in both lineups of Chaos, is you guys have Chaos Warriors, which are Strength 4. The big problem is... Titanscreed, he has 4 Black Orcs that are literally, pretty much identical to Chaos Warriors. So he counters, he equals you in that. But then he also has 4 Blitzers with block.
Exactly.
And
That's what I'm afraid of. I think I'm going to lose the blocking game simply because of that. Because he has 8 players that are all better in blocking somehow. And I only have 4.
Yeah. I think
and that's a huge
It's going to be
problem.
tough. Chaos is just such a long game team, so Ronith, what we have to do is survive.
Exactly. I don't expect to win the game. But I would love to at least get some SPP for future games.
Yeah. Okay, so Ronith, predictions for score line at the end of that?
1-1,
1-1?
I think.
Dan?
Yeah.
I would say 2-1. It'll level out as people start dying by the end of the game. But I think the Orcs will have a good early. 2-1 to Alcoholic because they'll probably have a stronger early while their Chaos and their Blitzers are all one line. But then after that, then it'll crumble and shit will get messy. I think you'll take 1 and then you'll even out.
Greg, how about you?
I'm gonna predict 1-0 in the second half. I don't think anything's gonna happen in the first half.
Is that 1-0 to Alcoholic?
Yeah.
Surely that depends on who's kicking, though.
Maybe, yeah. I think it's
The
gonna
problem
be a
is
matter
picking
of,
the ball up.
I think
true.
in the first half it's going to be just a massive brawl-off. Players are going to go out, and then I think it depends whether he still has his Goblin in the second half or not.
I think he will.
I think
in
he
which
will.
case he'll
If he's
score.
smart, he'll keep the Goblin out of harm's way until second half.
That's it, yeah. That's what I think. That's how I'd play it. I would just brawl in the first half and then go for it in the second.
Indeed.
No, that's reasonable. I reckon 1-1, but I sort of hinge it on if I think it's either going to be 2-1 or 1-1, basically to Alcoholic, and it depends on how well Ronith can control the game. But I do feel like you're at a massive disadvantage for
It's
blocking.
The 4 blocks.
Yeah,
It's
the 4 blocks.
Block abilities. That's it, really.
Yeah.
Like, I'm gonna say, the reason I'm giving you 1, and this is not offense to you, I reckon at some point in those 16 turns you can pull off something bullshit that'll get you a touchdown. Otherwise,
get lucky.
Yeah, another point. Otherwise, this would be a 1-0 or a 2-0, I reckon, to him. But I reckon you can pull off that extra special bullshit that'll get a try touchdown. Sorry.
You'll be a jammy motherfucker.
I'm flattered.
All right, moving on to the final matchup of the week, which is my Wood Elves, Folklore, and Fairies versus Sir Robin's Braves, which is the Bretonnian team.
Aren't you happy?
Yeah, I legitimately think I
out.
got the best match. Like when I was like looking at the matchups, I was like, I think my best chances would be Orcs or Bretonians. It was my first lineup to place,
Tails
and
wouldn't be that bad either, but still.
I definitely didn't want lizards.
Yeah, lizards would have.
That would have been really bad for you.
Yeah,
Croc score would have.
it's fine. I play you next week, Greg.
Yes. Is it
Dan,
Oh,
you can see all 5 weeks. I'm just not looking. I just looked at next week because I wanted to see when I played the lizards.
Really?
Dan, kill his team for me.
You
luck.
wish.
All right, so this matchup's going to actually be really interesting. I think this one is. The other ones are going to be super bashy with chances to like, but I feel like the other 2 matches have like a bit of similarity in that you both really bashy teams, and then one of the teams has people who can run with the ball. So I reckon there's that kind of thing. Whereas this one's really interesting because I'm just going to be playing the ball. I'm going to be throwing maybe 2 blocks at most a turn, and it's just going to be all
Those
ball
could be your
plays.
ward answers.
Funnily enough for you, the what's the Bretonian
Dauntless
lineup
does
thing
nothing.
called?
Offense?
I want to point out
Fend,
that your team is like sort of like the opposite to the Brett team, and what I mean with that is that you have 2 star players. You have the 2 war dancers. Every single one of your player has 4 agility. Now Brett's have 3 to 2 agility, and they have 3. They have more, or should have more star players, but like he only has 3.
Yeah.
Like 4
Even the
agility
block
is a lot.
Like,
Yeah, it like the fact he only has 3 of his blitzers instead of the potentially maximum 4 means that because like he's gone with the apothecary, which doesn't mean much to
Doesn't
me.
help in this one. You're not going to be
It
killing
does
people.
no. It could happen. Like because everyone knows it's Blood Bowl. It could happen at any fucking point. And I'm not saying the apothecary is a bad thing for it to be. I'm just saying this matchup is probably the matchup where the apothecary round 1 matters least.
yeah.
So hopefully I've got that advantage in terms of cash spent. It's going to be interesting because his blitzers, even though he's going to get 3 of them, are very good. War dancers are definitely a pain in the ass to deal with because literally only 1 dice roll will knock them over.
Yeah, they don't have to.
You have to
block
get get defender down to knock them over because they have dodge and block.
Yeah, and they're pretty hard to like beat to actually get down, but they're different to the blitzers because they can actually dodge away because they have that 4 agility.
And they have jump. They have leap, which is
they have
really
jump
useful.
as well.
Sick.
So the blitzers have to like get assistance or block their way through to get the
You
ball
have to
in.
just go all in.
Yeah, I think
Like, take out any
The
Mana-
war dancers can just dodge away and not
Yeah.
even have the bomb.
Mana needs to like aggressively. Mana needs to do 2 things. He needs to aggressively pressure my team, and he needs to make sure his line is fully solid, because any weakness in his line, my team can exploit that and break it open and get the hell through so quickly.
Considering where dancers have leap, I think he has to have at least 1 player in the back always on look. Like, free players. Free players that are free from, like, tackle zones to actually react to your...
I feel like, as well, like, the fend doesn't mean much to you on account of you
I'm not gonna be
most
blocking.
of the time aren't going to be following.
He wants to tackle zone you.
Yeah, my lineup, for example, for the start is it's going to be 3 linemen on the touchdown, maybe 1 war dancer, but probably 3 linemen, and then everyone else will be on the field, not on the line of scrimmage at all, because I don't want to be there.
Yep.
Okay, so let's go. What do you reckon the score will be? Let's start with Dan for this one.
I'm thinking 3 or 4-1 in your favor.
Really?
Yep.
Whoa.
That is. I would love that to happen, but
I think that you're going to just run a train on him with your war dancers, and if he suffers like enough early downs, then you're going to just fucking score like a couple times per half. But I think he'll be able to push at least one in with his blitzers.
okay, that's reasonable. That's a lot of that's like multiple 2-turn touchdowns though to make that happen.
3 or 4. Like I'm pretty sure 3. At the very least 3-1. I can see happening.
3-1. Yeah, okay. Greg.
I think a lot of it will depend on how his initial drive goes. Like, if he gets the attack and his initial drive goes well, and he takes down, like, even if he, like, knocks out one of your first linemen, you're going to be down straight out, which is going to be bad for you because you've got less to exploit those gaps. So I think a lot of it's going to count on that. But I think, yeah, honestly, I reckon he'll score at least once, and then I reckon you'll, depending on that, might go 2 or 3. But if it goes badly for you, I'm going to say it's going to go 1-1, honestly.
You think 1-1?
But it might, like I say, depending on what his initial drive does, if he doesn't take out some of your guys, you'll be able to exploit and get higher. But I reckon it'll be 1-1.
Okay. Ronith?
I think it's going to be 2-1 to the Elves, and the reason is, you know, each team will attack and defend in each of its half, and I think just pure through like blocking through, I think the Bretts will at least get one touchdown, and then the Elves will probably at some point sneak one by one more than they should. So that's what I think.
Okay. I'd probably agree with the 2-1. I think 2-1's reasonable for me.
3-1 would be amazing.
Yeah,
and
3-1.
I think it's totally possible, but it's very optimistic as well.
Yeah, I would love a 3. I would love a 3-1 or a 4-1, but I think realistically,
Actually, it would be 3-1 or 4-0. Because like those are requisites on your war dancers, like taking out a core dude from him. If you take out a core, it's going to happen. Or it could be 5-0 after you score 3 and he concedes.
I thought it just changes to 2 now.
Yeah, it goes to 2-0 if like if it's lower than 2-0, it's 2-0.
Yeah, I reckon 2-1 is likely. I think that's what I can get. My main aim for this game, to be honest, is to just hopefully. Well, my main aim is to not have a war dancer die.
Yep, that's
and not have. To be honest, I don't care if I lose. Like legitimately, if I lose like 2-3 linesmen, I don't care, because I'll just get 3 journeymen and that'll be fine.
Yeah,
because they're
and
identical.
then you'll get an apothecary, and then you can, over the course of the next games, you can just replace your linemen.
Yeah. So yeah, I reckon 2-1. And that pretty much wraps up our week 1s. It's going to be really interesting. Like I said, it's double round robin, so that's 10 games each. After we played the 10 games, the top 4 will be going into a double elimination bracket. In terms of where you can go to watch this, I'm pretty sure like everyone who has a YouTube channel in this league is putting up their view of their games on their YouTubes.
Absolutely.
Yeah, so you can go to, like, Dan's will be up on youtube.com/ is it SomekindWizard or is it...
DH SomekindWizard.
DH SomekindWizard. Greg's will be going up on youtube.com/ Noximous. Mine are obviously going to be going up on this channel. And Titanscreed, I think his YouTube channel is Project Phoenix.
citation needed.
I need to double check it. I will put it on the screen now. So yeah, you'll pretty much be able to catch all of these games like all over the place. We'll probably be tweeting about them, retweeting all that stuff. And for the finals, whether I make it or not, I will be doing commentary on both semis and the final, because that'll be fun.
Me and Josh are going to be doing stupid commentary.
Unless we're in them.
Yeah.
We can still do post commentary, it's fine.
Yeah. I tell you what, I would honestly not mind if there are games happening when we're not all playing at once, but people are around, just pulling everyone into the chat, just so they just can dick around in the play-by-play.
Yeah, because you can watch games live.
Yeah, so I think that would be a good one. As a cock about.
Yeah.
Tell you what, like I know that you guys will probably want to see me and Greg try and murder each other.
Yeah, you guys are playing tomorrow, right?
That's right.
I'm watching it.
Yeah. Tomorrow, about when do you finish work and get home?
Let's say it's going to be between 8:30 and 9.
Okay.
All right, me and Ronith will commentate it.
What, with us in the call or in your own thing?
No, we'll just like shit talk you guys.
Yeah, all right.
Definitely.
I'm in.
All right, so
okay with that.
Thank you so much for watching, guys. This has been the introduction to the first potentially more, but this is the first Dead Air Invitational. I hope you enjoy the league. I hope you enjoy us getting murdered by each other, and hopefully you'll come back and watch some more videos. Catch you guys later.
Bye.
Peace.
Bye.